Hi guys, build-jStevieO coming at you from the lowlands once again, and I just wanted to fill you guys in on a few aspects of the PC build. I promised you I'd get back to you on it, and I've spoken to the client a few times now. I don't like calling her the client, but I will reserve her anonymity for now anyway. And she got the computer the night before last. She got it back again, and she wants me to make a few points pretty clear and obvious for everyone, and I want to just finish off with a few thoughts on it myself. She got the computer back, and apparently the power supply in it needed a new. I'm not very big on PCs. I'm a dinosaur, believe it or not, with the SAWER. I just know how to work my laptop and get around with work and stuff, and that's basically it. The internal workings of a computer I know very little about, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. But there are a few basic things I realize about it, because I can remember Bonnie asked Vaughn I guess it's 6 weeks ago now, how was the computer build going, because we had some idea that it was factual, the $1,600 that he so proudly displayed to everyone. There was a lot of skepticism about that, and justifiably so, because I mean the man wouldn't know a lie if it slapped him on the head. He tells that many of them. But he did actually say something about the motherboard, and I mean there's been so much talk about the motherboard, but about it being a $70 motherboard. But I want to get facts straight for you guys, and these are from the client itself. I've got it here on the screen, so I'll not read it per se, but I'll tell you what it actually says anyway. They need a new power supply in it, and she had actually to bring the computer to her own computer specialist in the state she lived in. Vaughn had asked her to come pick up the computer by herself, and that's a 6-hour drive to Kentucky from where she lives, and she thought this was quite unreasonable, and why could he not send it by post, by shipping and by mail? And she reminded him about his contractual agreement that he made with her, and he turned on a dime on this lady. He became so nasty, so insolent, and so insulting towards her. This was what I said in the last one. This wasn't biting the hand that feeds. This was cutting the hand off and throwing it back at the person. And basically, I'll get to the computer first. The computer was basically, it had insufficient power supply. So he would never have been able to run a diagnostic on the computer, apparently, because the power supply was insufficient to get everything in the computer working in the first instance. There had to be a new bar of RAM put in the computer also. And apparently the wiring was very, very shoddy work. But she does want you guys to know that the computer was worth $1,500, so she didn't get ripped off in that aspect. And I will give honor where honor's due. She says it's a good computer, it's a nice computer. She's got 2 monitors, 2 13.6 inch monitors. But the thing was, Vaughn's the man who keeps flashing the business card, and I've got the one for him that I keep flashing every once in a while, the Expect a Wonder card. This one, Vaughn, Expect a Wonder. If you're looking any more business, I think you should expect a wonder, because it's obvious his business savvy is not so savvy, because the client actually realized that he wasn't making so much money out of this deal whatsoever, and she paid more than $1,600, guys. In fact, she paid $1,700, and excuse me, I've got a bit of the sniffles, and thanks to her generosity and her honesty, she actually said, no, Vaughn, you're not getting any money out of this deal yourself. I'll send you more money. And then she actually sent money for the shipping. Well, he took the huff on her, threw his rattle out of the pram, and took a huffy fit, and sent it by the slowest mail that he could actually send it. But, excuse me. She had to pay something like $300 to get the computer repaired after she got it from Vaughn. So it's a computer that's going to cost her over the $2,000, because she paid above $1,700, and Vaughn actually doesn't seem to have much business sense whatsoever, because she was the person who had the decency to say, look, listen, you're not working for free for me. If the components cost X amount of money, the $1,500 or the $1,600, you should earn some money in it. Logically, I mean, that's what a business is for. It's profit. It's making some money. And this, folks, is the primary reason why the client enabled him to make some money. And he was the man who kept blowing about, send me a PC, send me your broken computer, I'll fix it. And she took him at his word. People may say from that was not a wise decision, but I tell you what, there's not many people out there would take a bet on a three-legged horse. And unfortunately the horse didn't come in, it came in last. And everyone can say, I told you so, but I have another objective, and I've another, my Dutch and my English is getting mixed up here, I've got another entrance to this, another aspect of looking at it. This lady isn't very healthy at the moment. She has an illness, she's suffering under this illness, she's receiving treatment from it, and I think it was a little more than just helping him out, you know. For me it was a very good deed, and I mean, every good deed should be honoured as that for what it is, and it was an exceptional deed in my opinion, but that's only my opinion, of course. But anyway, the client took a risk, she paid him the money up front, the computer is, and she says she wants everyone to know that she got a nice machine back. So okay, I'm no problem telling you guys that it was worth $1,500, but she paid $1,700 for it, and on the $280 on top of that, $300 basically to get it repaired, working again. It's turned out to be a pricey computer, but whether the person has the means to pay this or not, that's not what this is about. What she seemed most shocked about, in my opinion, and what I more or less got very much from speaking to her, was the completely undeserved treatment that Helton thought he could dish out to her when he turned on a dime like that. And it says a lot about the man's character, it really does, because she wasn't pushing him for anything unreasonable or anything that they hadn't agreed upon. She wasn't pushing him at all. She was only reminding him of the contractual agreement that he had already made with her. She hasn't had much contact with him since then, but someone out of the Justice Department, let's just put it that way, from Manchester, Kentucky, actually called her on a Saturday about the computer deal. So it shows you, if you are watching Helton, I would watch your step if I was you, because it shows you how much this man is being scrutinized at the moment, and justifiably so, because this is something I want to get over to you guys. He's begging once again, and you can put money in the chip inbox below. Not in mine, I don't want your money. He can put money, you can put money in his chip inbox. He has been actually raging this week on Blog TV, if you missed him or not. I did miss him for a few days, and it felt good actually, I have to be honest with you. But apparently he's being quite obstreperous and obnoxious about it, about paying money into, and he's been more or less forcing people or threatening people to put money in for poopy diapers. Well, that's out of order. That's just out of order. For Mouse's operation, well, we are all wondering exactly about his operation, folks, or her operation, what that could be. I'm not sure. It's only a question of time before Vaughn blabs it out there, as he always does. But anyway, what is obvious, it's getting pretty tight there in Trailer Helton, and everyone who has half a brain, and most people who have a complete brain, are quite justified in their concern and their worry about those children's welfare. There's a reprogramming program going on to get the kids back to low maintenance. Once again, my opinion, I beg to differ. Children aren't low maintenance. Low maintenance kids just simply doesn't exist, guys. And especially when they're that small. And pretty heavy needs kids. Those kids are special needs until they gain weight, until they gain their basic mass of what they should be for their age, and they're still behind on their age. What is quite noticeable is Vaughn went to the doctor this week with the kids and Mouse, and I know Helton by now. If those kids had have gained 2 ounces each, we would have heard about that from here to Sint Jutemus, as they say in Dutch. But there was not one single word, which leads me to deduct from that, not that I need Watson or Sherlock with me to do this, that those kids aren't really thriving. Otherwise, Helton would have been blowing all over the place about, oh, my kids are getting so much stronger, bigger. I mean, he's even growing. He's getting taller. His pickle suit doesn't fit. Yeah, sure, Vaughn. Get real, man. Sometimes, Vaughn, you know, to say less is more. And you should think about that. Say less can mean more, you know. Because we all seen you blowing with those patches a week before they mysteriously turned up on the arms of your pickle suit. Yeah. I was a child of war, and I seen things in war. I went to war again in Lebanon for a few months before the UN, and I don't talk about it, guys. My uncle Moses spent 4 years in a Japanese prisoner of war camp. He didn't talk about it. Most people who've been to war don't talk about it, guys. I spent my days in a veterans clinic, a special trauma center for veterans. And I have a friend, a very good friend of mine here is an Iranian friend of mine who was a child soldier who murdered more than 50 or killed more than 50 people as a child. And I know the troubles that this can bring upon the soul, believe me, I do. Because, let's just leave it at that anyway. But, Helton and his pickle suit. And it just came out just like the karate suit that didn't fit. Yeah, sure, Vaughn. I think Southern Raven's taken you to pieces, along with quite a few others these days. Mama J, you're 100% on the spot, girl. Keep it up, because we do admire your tenacity, and you're a tough one, I know that. But the client wishes everyone to know that the computer is worth the money in one way, and another way, of course, it's not. And the hassle that you got out of this, and I know what it's like to try and help someone and to end up feeling that you got a kick in the ass along with the help. And it never feels good, guys. It never does. And like I say, anyone with half a brain please don't put a penny in that man's box. That man's got to get off his fat ass. You know the one he says that the ladies find so cute? You so cute. Yeah, sure, Bon. Yeah, sure. Well, anyway, I would tend to think the fact if we don't put money in the box, maybe one day it will encourage him to get off his fat ass and get a job. Although reality once again shines in through the window, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. And it's not going to happen anytime sooner if people keep giving the guy money. Not a good idea. As regards to letting him fix your PC, I would say that's a pretty much a no. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. There was also some things about our video card, but I won't share that anyway, because that's speculation. I want this to be factual, and that's what I like to deal in, facts. Another sad fact is Bob, my cat's been gone for a week. And this is the 3rd cat in 2 years, guys. 2 of my cats have been fished out of the canal at the back here. We're surrounded here by water in Holland, and we have canals and rivers and everything around us here. And I'm beginning to get a pretty ominous feeling also about Bob the cat. We do have an animal hater in the neighbourhood, and I'm putting 2 and 2 together and getting 5. If this Bob gets fished out of the canal, somebody's going to get a sore head, guys. Take my word for it. Anyway, guys, I leave you with that for the weekend. I wish you a fine weekend, and as always, you know what's coming next, from the lowest part of Europe and from the lowlands. I hope you guys have the highest possible day, guys. All my best wishes to everyone, and especially to a certain person. She knows who I mean.